Hey, good afternoon, Manchester, New Hampshire, and all the surrounding areas. I am so excited today. Nothing unusual, right? But this is a
It's
real
a big
special day, isn't it?
It's a big day for you.
We got a memorial special dedication day. We got the thing for what's that thing? Where we going?
Gauchos?
That's it, Gaucho, to help raise money for the Healing for Healthy Ponds.
Correct.
Okay, so we're all excited about that. We got a lot of activity. So my poor little pea brain, I haven't been smoking. So,
So you're all over the place. Oh,
So
God help us.
and we have a special guest here, Dave. Want to introduce yourself, please?
Dave Larkin.
Dave Larkin. Dave, you got to put your chair just a little closer here, please. Dave, you're a commander, am I correct?
I'm currently in my third term as the commander of the Brookline, New Hampshire American Legion, Post 74.
Okay. Now, is that for people who have been in the military, or is that for what that is all about?
That's for anyone who served in the military during a period of crisis,
Okay.
although we are trying to change that.
Okay. And I noticed that you have some, what did you call them, thingy-jiggies?
These are miniature medals.
Okay. And each one has a certain meaning.
Yes.
Could you explain them to us?
Oh, sure. The green and white, that's the Vietnam Campaign Medal awarded by the South Vietnamese government. The yellow, red, and green, that's Vietnam service. That comes from our government. That's for at least 30 days in a combat area or a year. Okay, after a year, you'd get a thing to fix on it showing you were there for 2 tours. And then we have the National Defense Medal. That is for serving during a time of crisis. And finally, we have something most of the people who knew me growing up wouldn't believe, but that is the Good Conduct Medal.
You? Oh, we'll see when we do the cards. Would you? I ask a lot of vets, and I'm gonna. Would you do it? Would you serve the country again?
Oh, heck yes.
Would you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. See, the people that have done it, and will do it again. You know.
They don't know what they're missing. Now, okay, you have to. In my particular case, I was only with my unit in Vietnam for 27 days. I was with the 25th Infantry Division Band. We were playing our Sunday afternoon noon concert at the Service Club, and at 1:15, an American Claymore mine had been booby-trapped in a bucket underneath a chair about 15 feet away from me.
Wow.
And somebody sat down in the chair, and it blew. And I stopped 13 .38 caliber pellets. Most of them went through my left lung. I got hit 3 times in the spine. Bled out. I actually had a clinical death as they were taking me off the ambulance. But I'm a product of the best medical system on this planet. Our military gets the best of the best. If they can get you warm, they'll bring you home. And they told me I was never going to walk again. Well, this is only a couple of years old. I got myself back to full duty when I got out of Chelsea Naval Hospital, and finished out my tour. Got myself assigned Fort Knox, a training center where I'd work, rebuild myself. And while I was there, some people I knew when I went through the Armed Forces School of Music came to inspect the band, and I was the NCO responsible for our rehearsal hall, library, and recording studio. And when they walked into my building and I jumped up and reported, ready for inspection, sir, they kind of went. And the sergeant major comes over to me, and he takes my arm, and he squeezes my arm, and he says, "You know, you're dead." And I said, "No, Smadge, I'm solid, I'm warm." And he says, "No, I got the paperwork." Well, a week after they got back to Washington, I got orders transferring me to a 50-piece show band over in Germany, and I spent the last 15 months of my tour in Germany, going from beer tent to beer tent to beer tent. It was incredible.
But being a dead man, you did pretty well.
Absolutely.
Now, did you have to Was there a battle proving you were still alive? In other words, when they said that you were dead, did you have to go and make a lot more paperwork?
A lot of it got corrected, but the word didn't get everywhere. Okay. After they stabilized me, they put me on a chopper to a specialist in Long Bin, I think he was, and he met my chopper. Now, I had a massive pneumothorax, a sucking chest wound, right? And as they take me off the chopper, he leans over me and he says, "I'm going to give you wicked allergies, but I'm going to save your life." And he turned it from, I knew I was dead when I figured out how badly injured I was. I knew, well, there's nothing they can do, because 99 out of 100 died. Well, this guy flipped it the other way. 99 out of 100 survived.
Nice.
But once they got me in the ICU, this Aussie Red Cross worker comes in. And he right out of the 30s, the bush hat, the bush jacket, the shorts, the knee socks, the brogans with the accent. And now I'm nothing moves, can't talk. And he's bustling around, straightening up the bed covers and telling me what the Red Cross can do for me. And he suddenly grabbed my dog tag chain and he spun it around. And he says, "Oh, I'll be back." And he came back a couple of hours later. And he says, "Well, I've called my people in Sydney, and they're going to call the Red Cross worker in your hometown, and she's going to call your mother and tell your mother that the telegram she's about to get isn't true."
Oh, my God. How horrible for your mother to get that notice and then...
Yeah. Well, actually, the Army had
Oh.
caught up with it, but the telegraph was not rosy. And, I kept telling him, "I'm going to walk again. I'm going to play tennis."
You got to play tennis?
I wanted to play tennis.
All right.
And did you?
Oh, I got good enough to be a practice partner for a pro.
Very nice.
I think we could give it a round of applause.
Congratulations.
Yeah. But you have to, it's all attitude. You have to have a positive attitude. Give you an example of somebody other than myself. When I was in a hospital in Japan, we had this little guy. He was a point man on a LRP platoon, team, 12-man. And he walked into a Chinese claymore, and they, we put steel wheels and balls and hours, stainless steel, so they didn't have to go in and take them out. And but they put glass, you name it. It's just all kinds of stuff, nails, what have you. And it blew up right at him. And he was covered with slits, about 3 inches long, that were sutured together with wire sutures. Okay? And you had to, every day you had to get out of bed and do whatever kind of exercise you could do. And he'd walk around with 2 crutches. Na 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 na, Zipperman, Zipperman. And that was the typical attitude of the guys that I was in the hospital with.
And that's wonderful, because it's just proof you can either be a victim or you can be your own hero.
And that's why I don't like the word failure, as you know. I really don't. I really get a lot of times on that, because you're a surviving miracle. The Spirit has something different in mind for you.
Yes, he does.
And your journey isn't over.
No.
Okay. You know, you have a lot more things that you have to do. Okay. And the spirits are all really blessed. They're quiet today.
Quiet. Very quiet.
Which is very unusual. Yeah. But I want you to know this. It is an honor and a pleasure to have you with us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
And her husband, your husband Bruce, we also, he's camera shy, and that's okay. But we also want to say thank you to him for serving our country as well. Okay. I get so distressed when I hear all the things. I'm not talking political. I don't even want to go there, because then I'd really get upset. It would take up 4 hours, But when I hear people talk about how bad the military is, or how bad our country is, or how bad, or how they don't want to do this and they don't do that. But without our military men And women. We can't forget the women.
No.
Right.
I ain't forgot that one. No.
Women have been around a
Yeah.
long, long time.
Yeah,
Don't
and
say,
the men
you
and
know.
women, and when they forget us, and we forget how we wouldn't have the rights that we have today.
That's true.
We would not be able to go and do this, and I wouldn't be able to have the right to have my TV show, or our
You,
TV
you
show.
wouldn't
I
have the right
apologize.
to exist.
No, you know.
I mean, you really wouldn't.
Realistically, yes, because we fought for this. I
You're
mean,
right.
our nation was built on this.
Yeah.
You know?
And to hear you say that you would do it again, it makes me feel. And then Bruce also, Mr. Bruce, they also said it. And most military men that I talk to, when I say to them, that yes, they would do it again.
I come from a whole family of veterans, and they all say the same thing.
Shay, who's starting a new group, I got him coming back on in July, just to remind you of such a
Oh,
whole
good.
new thing. We have a gentleman, his name is Seamus Burke, okay? He's starting out a new one, Dirt for Vets. When I first read that, I got, what the heck is that? I mean, Dirt for Vets. What it is, he's teaching these people, the veterans, whether they're homeless or whether they need a new job or whatever, he's teaching them how to run payloaders, right? And
Well, a lot
tractors
of different
and
things.
landscaping,
It's basically what he's taking is compost. He's making compost out of biodegradable products that people normally would just throw away. He's teaching them how to do that, but in that they have to learn how to use all the different equipment, and they get to pick which area they want to do. But it's also landscaping. I mean, it's a lot of different skills: how to
Right,
run a
right.
business, how to,
Awesome is that?
I mean, there's
and
a
they
lot
get
to
paid
it.
for it.
Yeah.
Well,
And they,
When
and-
most of them
yeah.
don't.
And the goal is to get them to start their own businesses.
Yeah.
So it's a training program.
Right.
But well, you know how much I love veterans, and
You're right.
you know.
Sir, I would like you
Sir,
to
who
present
walked in?
you. I would like to present you with the flag that. Do you remember Allison and Dave?
Yes.
That gave me- Well, her husband had passed away. He gave the flag to my son, and we don't know him really that well. He was a Marine, and when they gave this to him, and we had to find an honorable. What does he do? He does the American Legion.
American Legion,
Okay,
yes.
thank you. American Legion, or so the American Legion, or whatever. And sir, I just felt led by my spirit to give this to you. So if we could stand up here.
I also belong to the Veterans of Foreign Wars and
Yes,
the
he
Disabled
does.
American Veteran.
Yeah, so we need you to tell everybody about everything you do.
So on behalf of the other people, the family who gave this to us, and our family, would like to present your club with this American flag.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
It is an honor to receive this particular flag because it's connected to a veteran,
Right, he was a Marine.
Marine.
Yeah.
I thought it was a Marine.
Thank
very
you
much.
so much.
Can you tell people more about the American Legion? Because I have to tell you,
Yeah.
Bruce is a member, but I had someone come up to me, not even maybe 2 months ago, and said, "What is the American Legion? What do they do there?" And I was actually stunned by the question because I thought everybody knew.
I always thought it was a place to get drunk and have a good time and play pool.
Okay, well,
And
sometimes.
unfortunately, too many people think that. And there are some, and some of them have been problems. We're seeing the canteens disappear. My particular post and the Hollis VFW's post, we both meet in the same building, but at different times, okay? And I can include the DAV in Nashua. None of us have a canteen. And we're strictly oriented on working for the public, working for the people in our community, helping other veterans, helping the families of other veterans who may have died, who may be in the hospital, whatever. But if they're in need, we're there to help them. And we sponsor the Boy Scouts in town, Post 260. It's
Do you
absolutely...
reserve the right to smack them if they don't behave? I said it, folks, not her.
That'd be spiritualvisionary.net.
I would brace them, bring them to attention, and then put those through some basic training drill. But hit? No.
Oh,
No, not unless it was for a training purpose.
I'm only kidding, folks, because I have some friends of mine that are. One of my friends, her Susan, the one that does the money taking, her son is working on his Eagle badge.
Yep.
And that's the highest one that you can go
Oh,
to, right?
yeah.
They kicked me out. I was going for my first class. They kicked me out. What happened was our Boy Scout leader, he fell, and his leg came up, and nobody knew we had an artificial leg. And I thought it was funny. Well, he didn't. So, well,
Oh, well.
well, and you just couldn't take a joke.
You,
So, how long? How long have you been a member of the American Legion / VFW?
2008.
2008.
Yeah.
And what is you said there's something about a DVA?
DAV, Disabled
DAV.
American Veterans.
Okay. And what do you do for them?
Not much. Occasionally, they call me to participate in a ceremony with my trumpet, bugle. But most of the work is done locally, Hollis and Brookline.
Where? Brookline and where?
Hollis.
Holy small towns.
Yeah.
You know what that is? Too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have the best apples in the state.
Well,
Some
that's
great farm stands.
Exactly.
A
Yeah.
nice winery we found not too long ago that we
Yes,
did not know
it's
existed.
hidden down. It's hidden down. Oh, what is that? Kill me. I know that road. I've driven it for
Not
well,
Milford Road.
since 1979.
Merrimack Road. Merrimack Street? Merrimack
No.
Road? What's it called?
Pine Hill.
Yes, Pine Hill.
Pine
yeah.
Hill.
That's right. 'Cause
Yeah.
it goes back into
I want to
Nashville.
ask you, since we gave you the flag, would you play the taps for us, please?
Yeah.
We're going to have you stand over there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Would that be now?
Now,
Aha. I am also hearing impaired.
okay. We may have you do another one afterwards. Something like can you do it like, what do they call it, an army march? Or,
I wasn't in the Army.
I don't know either.
No.
Everybody I'm related to was in the military, but I wasn't.
They changed it.
Oh. Folks, we are going to be honoring and pleasure with Dave Larkin, playing the taps for. Were you a sergeant?
That was a Spec 5.
Spec 5, okay. Spec 5,
We weren't big enough to
Dave
have a
Larkin.
sergeant.
Oh, okay. He's going to play the taps for us, and maybe later we can get one more song. What do you think?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you. That was
Thank you. That was all
very
impressive.
moving. Yeah.
Very
See,
good.
this is why I love
Right.
our show.
Exactly.
Yeah. See, we're all going to cry over here.
Yeah.
Tears all around. That was-
This is why I
that was
love our
beautiful.
show. We are unique. I don't ever want to be the format of somebody else. And so this is, and we
That's-
do this, It's not, I'm not doing it, and I know Lori, you know what to do it for a pat on the back.
Oh.
Although it would be nice, but
you know.
we're doing it because we care about it. Oh my God.
Sorry, big guy. It's all right.
It's all right. It is very moving because it's what you hear.
It's supposed
It
to be.
is. It's supposed to be moving, and it does. It reaches your
your heart, soul.
yeah, your soul so deep down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
yeah,
and the
I
purpose.
forgot, folks. This is my co-partner in Healing for Healthy Paws. Little bossy nuisance once in a while, but love her dearly. Kate McCurdy.
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 Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Norm.
And she is one with Lori that has been pushing, and I appreciate it. By the way, we do have a computer coming for the event, for our
Good.
cause.
Charity.
So that's been donated. And so Healing Paws is what we're doing. We're going to be going to
Gauchos.
Oh, yeah. Gauchos, Lowell Street today. With invite anyone that's within our listening or watching on the internet or whatever. You're going to be there. You're
Come
seeing-
down, support
come down
the
and join
charity.
it. And the meal is great. It's all you can eat. We're going to be having raffles. We're raffling off we're auctioning off a flute by Bob
That
Whitebeard
flute
Olson.
is so beautiful.
Oh, isn't the flute beautiful?
And you have one of him.
I
right?
do. I love
have a
it
CD.
so much.
Well, Dave, you
I
have
have
to
a
see
flute,
this.
too.
They're all homemade.
Yeah.
The hand carved flute.
Oh my God, yeah. It's
You're going to
so
fall in love
beautiful.
with it.
Oh,
I like that. Oh, wait till you see
Handcuffed.
it.
Wait till you see
you know,
it.
Yes,
okay.
they're viewed, yeah.
You know, Dave, I have a question if I can. I remember being at your house many times, and I do behave when I'm at the house, sort of, kind of.
You behave.
Hmm.
No
Thank
one
you.
believes that, so go ahead.
Well, you have to determine what behave means at my house.
Good. Okay.
It's kind of a floating thing. It kind of depends.
Yeah.
I remember when, I think it was one Saturday afternoon, you were headed out to do something called you were going to a pinning or a ceremony for someone.
Oh, pinning, yes. The VA and the home health and hospice people have a program where they honor a vet who is on his way. On his way. I was supposed to have done one yesterday, but he couldn't wait.
Oh.
But what we do is a representative from the HHH and I go to wherever this veteran happens to be. Sometimes he's in hospice, some in the facility itself, and sometimes they're at home. And I honor him after the HHH has read the certificate that they present them. I honor the vet. I salute him. And if they're still there, they salute back. And I explain that it is my honor to present them with a token. It's merely a token of our respect for you and what you accomplished. All right? And then I pin it on the vet. Okay? And I stand back and I give him another salute. Then it starts to get interesting because I'll ask them questions like, where were you? Okay? And I was doing one in Nashua for a veteran sailor who was of French-Canadian ancestry, and a little guy, okay? Now, I said, well, what did you do? What was your job? And he says, oh, I was a gunner's mate. You were a gunner's mate. What kind of ship? Oh, my God. Anyway, it was the next down from a battleship, okay? So it was a very large ship. And I turned to his family and I asked, did he ever tell you anything about what he did? And they, well, yeah, he had a good time and he visited Japan and up. And they says, let me tell you about it. He was a gunner's mate. He was on the outside of the ship in a tub trying to shoot down, and he was at Okinawa, trying to shoot down kamikazes. Almost 40 ships were sunk in that battle.
Right.
This guy's a hero. Do you know what kind of courage it takes to do that? Now, I think like infantry. And I look at these guys in the Navy, and they're on this ship, sitting out there in the middle of the water where anybody can see them, anybody can take a shot at them, okay? Or these flyboys who go up in the air in their choppers and aircraft. Everybody can see them. Everybody can shoot at them. In the infantry, we can dig a hole and hide. Think about it. Of course, there's a lot more of us in the infantry. But it's to get out what really this guy did. He was a hero. And they never... cruiser. Next step up, though. But anyway. He just... Yeah. Neat. Or this last one I did, I found out that he'd done 2 years in Germany as a combat engineer in 68, 69, and he was in Wilflicken. And I said, really? I arrived in Fulda in 1970. He says, oh, that's where we went to have a good time, And it was also where the Catholic Archbishop lived, and it was a religious town, and it was gorgeous. We didn't clobber it during the war, fortunately, but you can get these vets to relate, to be able to say things in front of their family that they never would if they didn't have me to drag it out of them. And I'm sorry, people should know what hero, what kind of hero
I can't get
their
my
family
stepfather
member
to
was.
say
My
word
brothers
one
were
about
in the
this.
Korea War and the early part of the Vietnam War as well.
Yeah.
And they won't even watch. They wouldn't even before they cross. So they wouldn't even watch a military show because it's so blown out of proportion. And not only that, you couldn't get them to talk about what went on.
Yeah.
Because I saw one of the nightmares that my brothers had. No wonder they were alcoholics. No wonder they were the things that they go through. You know, we here at Stateside, we don't know what. You know, when it's actually, we can see movies, we can see.
Well,
we've
even when
never
they
lived
show
it.
the footage, you know, you're still not there. You still don't know what's really happening.
Right.
No, because every bit of footage that you got to see
It's edited,
was,
It's only what the government wants you to see.
carefully.
and it wasn't the military
chosen.
who did it; it was the press.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't show us winning. Okay, we won every battle we fought. Okay, we killed, and I'm not proud of this. We killed 3 million Vietnamese military people. We lost 58,000 men and women in 10 years.
But it could have been
My-
the other route, too.
Yeah, and my age group was dying at a higher rate back here in the States on the highways and other stupid
Yeah.
things the kids did, okay? We were safer in combat than them.
I went to Travis Air Force Base in Fairfield, California.
Yeah.
I went to the military. I couldn't get in the military because I had one eye, and I was studying doing a lot. And I used to watch them come back in body bags. I couldn't even fathom in my mind what it was like. I can remember one of the kids that was surprising that I went to high school with, and he was one of my best friends back then. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and here he comes, both legs was blown off.
Yeah.
And they had these protesters against the Vietnam War and all this. And he says, "What the hell?" Then I go over there for us so they could do that.
I did this something very similar. That was back in Acton where I went to high school, and there was a big anti-war.
You went to high school?
Yeah,
You could have fooled me.
thanks. But
Look who's talking.
I got into an argument with a very nice doctor, okay, and he was a Quaker. But after he and I had our little chit chat, I'm walking away, and several of the protesters came over, and one of them says, "What do you wear that uniform for?" "To protect your right to do what you're doing."
And isn't that
And
what
when
you're
I-
doing?
Yeah, and when I said that,
Exactly.
they all went, "What could they say?"
Isn't that what we're doing? Isn't that what was happening? Can you imagine what this would be like if we didn't have the military protecting us? It would be scary.
Well,
It's
yeah,
scary today, but I mean,
yeah.
you know.
Today it's
a lot
the
different.
one thing we can't let us get too upset. Well, you get too upset about the these terrorist things like killing all those little girls over there. Come on. But the thing is, it's like being hit by lightning.
Right.
You know, you're more likely to die going out to get your newspaper than you are from an Islamic. Well,
From
what are
any
they?
terrorist.
An evil
Right.
loser
Yeah.
is
But
what
the
we're
thing
calling
is,
them.
you know, right, and that's what people need to keep in mind. When things like this happen, if you get scared, if you become fearful, if you start changing your life, you're letting them win.
Yep.
So the bravest thing you can do is go about your life. I personally think Ariana Grande should have another free concert in a park somewhere in England and tell them all the terrorists to, you know what,
Yep.
things I can't say on a family show.
Yeah.
Now, who's Ariana?
That's who was having the concert.
Grande,
It's
Ariana
$4.29.
Grande. Yeah.
When have you shuffle these for me, sir?
And
Aha.
this particular.
We're gonna go into your
Okay.
your darkest
Thanks,
of
Kate.
moments,
We'll see you in
into
a little
your
bit.
brightest of today.
How many times?
Until you get your energy in there.
Yeah.
Doesn't take long. Just, shuffle them up good and, and all that. And just in your energy, that's all. When you were growing up as a child, you always made up your mind of what you always wanted to do. Nobody could stop you from what you decided to do. Am I correct? Have you always wanted to be in the military?
From the time I was...
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
You would have you had other you would have been a lifer in the military, but it wasn't meant for you to be that way. You got sidetracked by wild women or whatever.
Well, no, it was my first wife.
Oh yeah, first wife. Okay.
First wife.
Okay. What I'm also seeing with you is that you've got a lot of traveling you're going to be doing for representing the club that you're working for, like the American Legion VFW. I also know that you will just be careful and don't overdo what you're doing because you get tired. You will get tired very easily. Okay. You have a strong constitution to live. You have died 4 times. You know that, right?
Well, two I'm aware of.
Okay, and 2 to 4. Okay. One when you were like 10 years old, you might have had a cold or you might have had a fever or whatever, and the spirit says, you know what, we're not going to let you go. You still got a lot to do. And another time when you were just before you went in the military, it said, but I also will tell you, how old are you now, if you don't mind?
73.
73. Oh, you're right around my age. Well, we're only young, right?
Yeah.
I'm only 72. Lori and I had a lady call us and whatnot. Her life is all discouraged, so I told her, go dance. She said, oh, I'm too old. She go, I said, how old are you? What, 55 or
58,
something?
I think.
58 or something like that. I just started laughing.
Right. I'm like, yeah, no, I am almost 58. Yeah, no, too old, no.
No. You're only as young as you want to be. And I'm going to have you take out 5 cards.
At least you're older. You're younger than he is. He's 34.
Yeah.
35. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
35 this year,
I'm
right?
35 with a 44-year-old son.
Wow. I made a decision when I was 10 years old to never lose that 10-year-old that gets such awe out of the universe.
Right?
I can be 10 years old when I discover something new.
I think growing up
Yeah.
is the worst thing anybody can do.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly, you lose that.
Let me take out 5 cards.
You know,
Don't
I
look at them. Just
love
take
to
'em out.
sit out in what we call our secret garden and just watch the birds and watch the dog and watch the whatever animals. When the hawk or the eagle come by, you can ask Bruce, I get awestruck.
Oh, did you ever see that movie, Secret Garden?
Probably.
When this little girl goes
yeah.
in. That's what you made me think of that.
And that's how we
your
feel when we're
private
in
time.
our,
That's your,
yeah.
that's
The
a
one
good
that's
thing.
black
Oh,
and
don't look
white.
at him.
No, I'm not looking.
Okay.
No,
The
okay.
one that's black and white and goes to color when she's in the garden.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't that amazing?
I saw that in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also will tell you that you're basically a very happy-go-lucky young man.
It's true.
When you're down, you can be really down. But when you're really high, you're really fly, you're really happy-go-lucky. However, you're a person, when you advise somebody on something, you don't pull the punches.
That's
Okay, you don't hold their hand, okay?
Ooh.
Ooh, you really are in a very strong relationship with your wife. Right? Even sometimes it seems a little cloudy, but it's still in there. You're going to be together for another 25 to 30 years more.
Did Kate ever tell you about us?
No.
Well, I was born
No.
March 5th, 1944. I was premature. I spent 5 days in an incubator. She was born February 10th. She was premature. She spent 35 days in an incubator, and I spent the first 5 days of my life right next to her.
Oh,
Wow.
That's awesome. Love that story.
So
We
the
didn't-
spirit has a strange way of working.
Oh, yeah, we didn't meet again until 1980.
Wow, they put you in
You
the incubator?
actually knew you each other in your past life.
Yes.
That's crazy.
That's why you connected, okay? Your mother and father are so very, very proud of you. I have to know. They both have passed, right?
Well, no, my mother's still there.
Okay, well, she told me she's still very proud of you. She doesn't understand a lot of the things that you do.
No.
But she does understand this is who you are, and she brought you up to be a strong thinker. She could not control you. I don't sense anybody could control you growing up. Even your teachers could control. You've always had a mind of your own. You always will have. I actually I don't see you with dementia. Or what's that other word? Alzheimer's?
Alzheimer's.
See, I have already know.
Yeah.
I don't see you having that, honestly. I just believe that you're going to be around for a long. However, I do have a problem and concern about your heart rate. Your heart rate, when you get excitable, it can go. Oh, when you get calm, it can really slow down. Okay.
Yeah.
When you go into heavy sleep, your heart is just really cool. Not a serious problem or anything like that. I'm not going to tell you to die or anything like that. However, I would like to have you have your blood checked. I'm concerned about a borderline diabetic.
Okay.
Okay. That I am concerned with. Okay.
Yeah.
Financially, you got some more improvement coming. Do you have some more? Somebody like in the military or somebody owes you some money, and I'm seeing some money coming to you. I'm not going to tell you that it's going to be a whole lot of money, but it's going to help you to be a lot more comfortable for yourself. Okay, and I also will tell you the position that you hold in the American Legion, you got for at least another 5 years.
Wow.
Well, they like you, and you enjoy.
Apparently.
You enjoy what you do.
Yes, I do.
Okay. I'm also seeing you on a membership drive that's going to bring up your ratings a little bit higher. Okay. The building that you're in now, do you want to move to a bigger and more than one facility?
It's part of the heritage.
No, I mean the American Legion.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Part of the heritage.
Okay. Because for some reason there's an opportunity that you could have to either expand the building or move it to another facility. Okay. I don't see you guys closing. However, you need to start carding the people that are going into the club.
Well, I thought you didn't have a canteen. They don't have a club at their
You
place.
don't sell alcohol there?
No, not at
Well,
theirs.
Coffee is always available freshly.
Oh, okay. So
There
it's not
are
a regular.
sodas and waters that you can buy out of the refrigerator.
Oh, okay. Where's the area that you go to that sells alcohol? Besides your house, but I mean, I keep seeing there's something there that I do see. Then they're going to apply. Somebody's applying for an alcohol license.
Huh. Won't be there. Oh, that may be the new restaurant around the corner.
Okay.
When they years ago. See, I won't go beyond the limit if I have to drive.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, and they opened up a Chinese restaurant in town, and I said, Mai Tais, and it's within walking distance. I mean, it was right up the end of the street. They only had a beer and wine license, and we've got some people from Townsend are building a restaurant here while they're redoing a restaurant that's been there for years and years and years. It's been having trouble, been getting too specialized, okay? The last iteration was a sports bar.
Okay. But I still see some kind of a club.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's not I'm not always read about the names of the clubs or whatever, but it's not too far from where you live, anyways. Okay. You may warn them, but they're not going to listen to you. Okay. I know that financially you have a more financial improvement coming. I'm not going to tell you it's going to be millions of dollars, but we can always use financial improvement, right? No matter what. I'm also telling you that you are going to be very honored in the work that you do. I'm not going to put some time, even though I know it, I'm going to let them surprise you. Okay. You drive pretty slow.
Well, I don't do a lot of speeding.
No.
No, I stick pretty close to the speed limit.
A couple of miles under the speed limit.
Nah, not so much.
Okay, well, just keep an eye on it going.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
irritate people when you drive too slow.
I have no problem doing 4 miles an hour over the speed limit.
Let's just keep it that way.
That's my road rager fudge factor.
Yeah. You live on a windy road?
Nope.
Who lives on a windy road around you? Where's the closest?
There's a lot of windy roads in
Oh,
Brookline.
my cousin. Yeah, he lives over in Hollis.
I'm seeing a windy road, okay? And what I'm seeing is some idiots coming down around the hill and going on the wrong side of the road, thinking they're really smart-ass people. And I'm actually seeing a car get hit and sliding over. And, okay, you're going to come up on the scene.
Oh.
you're going to be the one to help pull the people that are injured out of there. No doubt in my mind. That's what I'm seeing now. Okay, it's not too far from wherever you may be or whatever, and you're not even going to think twice. And actually, your wife is also going to help you. Neither one of you are going to think twice about doing it. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I don't. Neither one of them would ever think twice.
No.
You'll jump right in. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know. You two are different as night and day. but that's-
Absolutely.
But that's what worked for you two. Okay. How long you been married?
We've got married in '99, so 18 years. It's also when we moved to Brookline.
Well, you've
But
known
we-
each other a long time.
Yeah, since 1980, and sometimes we worked in the same building, sometimes we didn't. But once we, when we were in the same building, we'd always get back together. It's a cute little thing.
Yeah. You also are going to be, like I said before, but you also knew each other in your past life as well. When this time you both became very strongly connected with each other, and you wouldn't want your life any other way. Okay. One of the things I'm also looking at with you too is that you like animals.
He loves animals.
You have a lot of dogs around you.
No, I have 12 cats.
12 cats.
10 of them are rescues.
Why do I see dogs? Did you have dogs at one time?
We have a Chinese crested.
Oh, like what?
Yeah.
You had 12 cats?
We've had as many as 28 in the house.
God bless you.
Our house is designed, the house was built in 1860. The day we saw it for the first time, we looked at the house and we looked at each other. This would be great for the cats. But she's an Aquarius and I'm a Pisces. And that river in the backyard was music to us. So that house had to be our house.
That spirit invited you with open arms. Okay. Because you have honored that house. People don't realize, like, the house that you live in, they welcome you and your husband because you're honoring the house.
Absolutely.
You're making them, beautifying it, repairing whatever. And this is when spirits have a way of saying, okay, if you're not going to do it, well, you're going to lose the house or whatever. And I truly believe that.
Yeah.
I also will tell you there's a little old lady that lives up on the upper part of your house that just love you and your wife very much. It's a spirit that was one of the original owners of the house.
Yeah.
And you also, is there a lot of wooded area by where you live?
Oh.
Be
Right now,
prepared.
we can't see people across the river.
You like that?
Yeah, and I'm sure everybody who lives there likes that fact.
I am very concerned about a fire.
So am I.
Very, very concerned about somebody being callous,
Yeah.
and, throwing a cigarette butt there or something like that. I've seen like 12 acres of land being burned down, and you get people, get this, folks, people don't care. That's
But,
a beauty.
I think it's not so much that they don't care, is that they don't think about it.
Right, okay.
They don't think. They don't think when they're throwing their cigarettes out the window how, devastating it can be. I mean, even if it doesn't start a fire, like in Pennsylvania, they have a problem with deer getting hit on the roads because they get addicted to the cigarettes people throw out their windows. And who would have ever thought that?
Well, the Pennsylvania wildlife people will tell you something different.
Well, I'm from Pennsylvania, and that came from
Okay.
wildlife people.
Well, but in Pennsylvania, they copied the New Hampshire way of managing the herd. Too well. I remember back when I was in the service, and sometimes I'd take the Pensy Pike out to Ohio to get down to Kentucky, and it was boom, 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 boom,
Yep.
boom. Now I'll tell you something. I'm a smoker. Okay, my butt goes in this pocket, and that was military training that did that. You didn't.
When I
want-
was a smoker, nothing irks me any worse than seeing somebody throwing a cigarette butt on the ground. My pet peeve. Out here, we see it. And the thing is, you have these cigarette
Yeah, they have.
containers.
And they're right there, easy
there's
access.
I don't
reason
understand
for
that.
it.
I know that a filtered cigarette is a poison pill for a small animal.
Yes.
That's why I won't throw it down.
So all you
And it's
animal
disgusting
lovers out
looking.
there, listen, you're
It's so-
endangering those animals you love when you throw
Yeah.
your cigarettes
When you
on the
tell
ground.
us you love all these wild animals, you love this and that, what he just said is poison to the animals. I watched the squirrel, and thank God I was able to make him run and drop the,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Because it's
Every
very
one of
attractive.
us can save this earth and planet, or whatever you want to call it, by nonviolence, by picking up after ourselves, by honoring the people who aren't a fighting force or whatever. And I also, your wife has got some very good news coming to her.
That sounds good.
And it sounds financially probable.
Interesting.
Boy, you guys have lived under a lot of clouds and decision times, but there's a lot of big decisions coming that you two have to make in a very short time. Do you want to continue where you're living, or do you want to sell your house as one? Do you personally want to do a lot more traveling than you have been traveling? It's all up to you, okay? I actually see you going to with that big wall where all the names are on the wall.
The Vietnam Wall.
Right, I actually see you going there. And I think you're actually going to play the taps.
Well, that's done on a scheduled basis.
You're going to get a
They
special
have a roster.
You're going to get a special invitation.
That would be all right.
A lot of people from the Pentagon watch our show,
Yeah.
so that might be what
We'll push it more
facilitates-
even, right?
help
Okay, absolutely.
facilitates that.
We have promote. When this show, Dave, right?
Dave,
I
yeah,
look at his
very
name
good.
right.
Yeah,
Come
you get
on.
a cookie tonight.
Unusual.
Stop putting your phone on the desk.
When we're UK, we had a guy call us from the UK. We had people watching us in all over the world, Argentina, you name it.
Australia,
Yeah,
South
Australia,
America,
you're going to be very well
Japan,
known.
Singapore.
From a little man who sits in a small town of Brookline. Or Brookline.
You said it right.
Did I say it right? Oh, okay.
Batting
So
100 right here.
Did you grow up in a small town?
What actually, the towns I grew up in were small. Marblehead was tiny.
Mass?
Yes.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. Swampscott was not a big town. Of course, the great thing was it was. Now I'm a pre-boomer. I'm a war baby. Okay, but when we had the boomers, I mean, a rumor would go around on a Friday that the kids were gonna get together for a reenactment of the Civil War, and on Saturday, you'd have 500 Yankees and 500 Rebs ready to do their thing, and it would get to the newspapers. They'd come too.
What if I told you that you were part of Ulysses Grant's army?
Interesting. I'm currently reading The Life of Ulysses.
You were
A
a
life of
lieutenant before you were killed off the horse. But I would actually encourage you to research and look at the pictures on there to see any of them that you could recognize.
Huh.
Because
The Civil War is my period of history.
yeah, so I would encourage you to go back and work with it and check it all out, because I really truly believe that you were part of the Confederate Union War. And that's why I think you're so intrigued with it and why you're concerned. So I would honestly encourage you to check that out. Okay. What do you feel?
Yeah, I think when you read it, it feels familiar to you. Is that correct? Is that fair to say when you're reading about it?
Yeah, but it's
But you're
GI
researching.
familiar.
Yeah. Don't read it intellectually. Read it in the self.
You're going to get down in the dirt, because that's where the soldiers were.
Yeah, that's what I want you to do, and you're going to recognize a lot of the places that have been Richmond. I don't when they call it Battle of Richmond.
Richmond?
That was the siege toward the end of the war when Grant was taking.
Gettysburg, the whatever they were there. I want you. I'm not good at history. That's not my
Well,
forte.
Grant was in charge when he did the Peninsula campaign
Right.
to invest. Petersburg actually was easy to do that, but my great uncle was the first sergeant of the 19th Massachusetts Infantry Regiment, and he was wounded at the Battle of North Anna River, and he died in the hospital in Washington D.C.
By the way, you also were a drummer in one of the wars.
That was the revolution.
Okay, you were always a musical person.
I believe
when
that,
in
yeah.
a war or whatever. You were always a musical person. Okay. Could you enlighten us with another tune?
I beg your pardon?
Could you enlighten us with another tune from your
Can
horn?
you play
Yes.
something else?
This actually is usually played prior to taps, but that's okay.
Okay.
It's
Well,
in
we're
the same
having-
meaning.
We are here with Dave Larkin.
Larkin.
Very
2 days in
good.
a row?
Wow.
Oh, my.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Play the
See,
lottery.
he's giving me the good memory. See, well, but folks, we're here with Dave Larkin, from a commander and post of the American Legion. If you have any comments about any of your stories that you might have done in the service or in the military, or if you do not call us, however, if you're going to respect the military, I
Disrespect.
refuse to take that call.
Yeah, don't
Okay.
any disrespect
yeah,
calls,
you
you'll be
know,
blocked.
But if you have any calls that you want to say, talk about how you've been in the military or what you saw, we'll be more than happy to listen to you. We're going to see it over there again, please.
This is called the long tattoo,
Long tattoo.
and many countries use it as their version of taps.
Oh, okay.
No, got to get it right. What? Okay, I'm doing something wrong.
Wow.
Thank you, sir. That was awesome. Folks, our show really is dedicated to all, like the sign said, to all the people who have served in the military forces or been family wives and husbands, or people who have been in there. Maybe the wives have lost their husbands, or the husbands have lost their wives, or whatever. And there's still, you know what I've been reading a lot about? A lot more women that are in the military than I realized. When you see them coming home from, the different countries they go with, and I don't know how, and I give them credit because I don't know how they can do this and leave their children behind, but
Men
you know
do.
what?
Same
God
way
bless
men
them.
do it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think maybe back in the old days it would say, oh, she's married. If I remember right, if you were married or if you had children, you couldn't go in the military if you were a woman. Am I correct? It's just recently we started changing the law on that.
I believe that is correct. And I believe it was not too long ago when women with children were allowed to go overseas.
Right.
Pregnancy was automatic dismissal.
Yeah.
And that's changed.
You got to bring it up close so they
Oops.
can hear you.
Sorry about
Oh,
that.
you can sit back, just relax. Remember, you're just in the living room. Maybe you're having a martini or whatever.
Yeah, my father was a typical, he was a Marine.
Uh-huh.
He was combat engineer. He went up Mount Suribachi internally because he was in the caves cleaning out the Japanese. And he got wounded 3 different times, but he never got the $1 million wound, so they just patched him up and he went back into it. And then along came Korea. And he jumped up, yeah, gonna go kill some North Koreans and Chinese, yeah. And then they said, Dave, you've got 4 kids. We'll let you train, but you ain't going over there. And that's right. The biggest, to be perfectly honest, as a Vietnam vet, it scares the bejesus out of me having women in combat. I know they're trained, they're qualified, they're fully capable. But if they get taken prisoner of war, they're not going to be treated like we are, us guys. They may beat us up and do things like that, but what they do to a woman.
But I think women who go in the military understand that is a possibility.
Yeah.
but they want to serve their countries.
Yeah.
You know, they want to do their part, and
should.
I have such utmost respect for women in the military because it takes kahunas. It really does.
And the thing is, based on sex, not all guys are capable of going in the Army or Navy or Air Force or Marine Corps or Coast Guard, okay? And there are certainly a significant number of women who are capable of doing those jobs, even combat roles. Yeah. We have a lot of women pilots that provide support, ground support, okay? We got a couple of Rangers that are women, officers even.
You know, I read a book about gay and lesbian being in the military.
Yeah,
okay? And the sad part, this woman, she was a brigadier general. Is that what you call her? Brigadier general?
Yeah, one star,
real high,
yeah. One star,
and because they found out that she was a lesbian, they loved her when she was fighting for the country. When they found out that she was a lesbian, they tried to strip her of her rank.
Yeah.
And they took her all, and her money and everything. She literally had to go and fight to get everything back. How sad!
Yes.
Because here's a lady or a man. You have to cover up your identity, but it's okay for us to go out and, like being a gay person. I can't. They say don't ask, don't tell. But bullshit. Okay. Oops.
Yeah. Well, there were guys.
Want to block that out there, Paul?
He did. He caught it.
Thank you.
There were gay men.
Yeah.
In the service when I was there,
yeah.
Okay? And if I was responsible for them, I was responsible for them, And my only concern was, when you're on duty, be a soldier.
Yeah.
When you're off duty, be
you
who you are.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah, but I'm a musician. I mean, I grew up in the entertainment world. And, you learned very quickly that people were people. We were all different, okay? Somebody said this is normal. Well, everybody else is on one side or the other of what normal is, Right. And Mother Nature and or God made us all the way we are for a reason.
I'm a big believer that God does not make mistakes.
No. Folks, I apologize for using that word, just in case we get in trouble, because remember what word was used one time we got in trouble. So I apologize for using the BS word. I wasn't thinking. My apologies to you, to the station, and to management. But one of the things that I do know with you is that you don't care who they are.
No.
As long as they do their job.
Every person I meet is a book I haven't read. Okay, and you have to read the book before you know the person.
Before you know the story. I like it. That's a beautiful analogy.
My great-grandmother, who was born in 1870, who I was 10 or 11 when she died. I lived with her most of my life in those days. And she was the one that said that to me. She said, never judge a book by its cover, because if you don't go in and read it, you may miss something really good. And she was right.
She is right.
She was right.
We should all live by that.
Yeah, we should.
That's the problem with our society today. Everybody judges everybody by the outer exterior. They don't judge it, like you just said, the contents of what's inside of the person.
Yeah.
Well, it's been that way forever, but we have the opportunity to change it because we're all aware now. You know what I mean? It's not 300 years ago where you have to live by whatever the rules of your community are. You're allowed to think for yourself, and you're allowed to know, and you're allowed to be different. And
I challenge all these people who protest the military, who protest whatever. I'm not saying government. I have no problem people protesting government. This is what they choose to do. But do it without violence.
Oh, absolutely.
I would challenge them to go to Russia. I would challenge them to go to China. I would challenge them to go to these other foreign
North
countries.
Korea. Go to North Korea.
Yeah. You won't be alive today.
Well, I can just go anywhere.
Yeah.
Because when you go to any other country or you get involved in any other culture, you learn that the world is not how the media presents it or how the government presents it or how your neighbor who's afraid of their own shadow presents it. It's just not that way.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful, beautiful place, and the vast majority of people in every culture are wonderful, loving, giving, caring people.
I have people that live in my building that from Nepal, through Beijing to Nepal. You've seen them.
Mm-hmm.
They're great people.
We
They
have a phone call.
every one of them become citizens.
Welcome to Norman Friends. You're on the air. Hello.
Hello, how
Hey.
you guys doing?
Hey,
And we're
Mary,
doing
you
well.
okay?
How about you, Mary?
Not too bad. I want to say thank you for his service. That the Vietnam War was a terrible war.
Yeah.
Back then, I don't remember. I wish they would do it again for the service and servicewomen. You used to get their names, you know, and you could write to them while they were in the service and everything. Send them cards if you knew their birthdays and all that. I got a dog tag years ago when the Vietnam was going on, and just a few years ago, I see if I could give the tag back to the serviceman that I got years ago from the Vietnam War at that time. But the man had died. He was there just a year in the Vietnam War. So I had the tag today, you know. And my father was Army. He was with the 172nd. Both my uncles were with the 172nd. And like I said, you know, people should appreciate what the men and women do for this country, because they're the ones keep us free. And God bless each one of them.
Thank you. Yep, we agree, Mary. We agree.
Yeah, so, you know.
Yeah, like I said,
So-
most of my family is all veterans. I mean, my brothers, my sister, my uncles, my husband, my son, my grandson, all veterans.
Yeah.
My stepfather.
Yeah.
Don't want to forget him.
Yeah.
So what's going on with you, Mary? You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I'm going down into Massachusetts this weekend.
Right.
Down what they call Freetown down there. I always go down there every year and everything, so
Good.
it should be pretty good down there. I love it going down there and stuff and everything. So how you guys doing?
We're doing good. We're gonna do the big.
You guys looking good.
Yeah. Well, we have our big event tonight at Gaucho's for Healing for Healthy Paws,
I
and
wish I could go, but certain things, you know how it is.
well, you always support us, Mary, and we appreciate it. You're always there, so
Yeah, I wish I could.
yeah, it should be a good time. We'll miss you, but we know you're
Yeah.
there in spirit. So
Yeah, I am. When it comes to animals, I would do anything for animals. I love all animals,
did you hear how many cats he has, Mary?
Huh?
Did you hear how many cats Dave has?
No.
Tell her how many cats you have.
We have 12.
Oh
10.
my goodness, God bless you.
We've had as many as 28. We have both always been rescuers. 10 of the 12 are rescues. Some of them are purebred Persians that we rescued, and the two that one we bought, beautiful tortoiseshell female that was we showed her with the Cat Fanciers Federation, and in the 2006-07 season she was Cat of the Year. Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness.
Congratulations.
And the other girl is one of our breedings. And
Oh my goodness, that's great.
So-
I have 2 tortoise girls here. I have a white Siamese, and I have a black and white one that came 2 years ago because nobody wanted her because she was an older cat. So I end up taking her, and she's she's so wonderful. I should have called her Irish because she's got the most beautiful, ivory eyes, green eyes when you look at her. Oh my God, they're beautiful green eyes that she's got.
oh yes,
And but my girls, my two tortoise ones, they're the brother and the other sister. I literally brought them into the world because the mother could not have them because she was so small and they were so big.
oh,
So I literally grabbed the babies and pull them out where she could bring them the rest of the way. So every time she go to have a baby, she screech. And I says, Addie, she's going to have another one. So I go back, grab the baby. So I got the biggest one here. She's tall and lanky for the sister, and she's 16 pounds on that girl.
That's a big
But
one.
I hate to see what the others weigh. They're a butterball.
So, Mary, what do you think about the show today?
I love it. I really do. I love it what you did, Norma. It's great.
Well, if I didn't do it, he was going to hit me over the head with a trumpet.
No. My cane, maybe.
I love
Oh, the cane, yeah. Oh, not the trumpet.
Yeah,
we'll take
don't
that, yeah.
hurt the musical instrument on that hard end.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, can you and Dottie make it today to Gauchos?
No.
No. Okay.
No,
okay.
sorry about that.
That's all right. You can be with us in spirit.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I
You
would.
know? This lady makes the best homemade baked beans at our events, so I got to start doing the paperwork out for the vendors and readers. You like homemade baked beans? Yeah. She makes, and they go very quickly.
Very
I believe
quick.
it.
Very
Yeah, they
quickly,
do.
believe it.
you know. So, well, Mary. So one of the things I'm looking at with you is that I know you're not going to be able to make it this weekend, but you're invited to come anyways to our event.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Have
I
fun
always
in
go
Mass.
down into Freetown on the Memorial Weekend. I always go down there.
And we'll go down and have a good time and drive careful, okay?
Yeah, I will. Thank you guys, and God bless America.
Okay, you too.
Thanks, Mary. Bye.
Yeah,
Bye-bye
bye-bye.
now. She's one of my... And there's another woman that I've known since I was... She used to be my bodyguard, so to speak. I'd get into a fight, she'd beat him up for me.
True story. People think he's making that up, but nope, she confirmed it's a true
Oh,
story.
yeah. Oh, yeah. You know?
He tells tales. Mary's, she would never.
No. And I have been so... We had a great time at Saturday. We should speak about it.
We did have a good time at the event. Norm and I and Bob, the flute maker, participated in an event at the VFW, American Legion / VFW here in Manchester to raise money for the VFW auxiliary. And we raised $700. Yeah, it was a really nice event. We had a good time, wonderful people, loved the facility, was really nice.
It was like old home week for me. I went to it was like a reunion because they used to have the American Legion over on Kelly Street in Manchester here, okay? And once a month they'd have their buffet breakfast. And I was always complaining about something. I would never complain.
You complain?
Right.
Never.
And then my friend who passed away said, if you don't like it, I'm going to put it over your head. And I knew what she meant, so I never complained again. And we were talking about this. In fact, I did our meeting on a lady this morning whose mother-in-law is a member of the American Legion VFW. And you know, the atmosphere in there was so fantastic. It was unbelievable. You know, because we did it for the right, you know, I don't like doing psychic events unless there's some kind of a charity involved in it.
Right.
You're the same
I
way.
agree,
You know,
yeah.
we both agreed with that, you know. It's okay, yeah, you know, not everybody's going to do it, we realize that, but
Right.
I like to do it to help raise money. Do I like making money? Oh, absolutely, I'm Jewish, I count my money towards me, you know, and I cry otherwise, you know. My granddaughter smiles. And one of the things I really want you to understand, Dave, if you need a fundraiser, I'll talk with Lord. I don't know where Brookline is, but I'm sure that
Brookline. Yeah, I know where it is. I've been there many
we could
times.
probably have a psychic event for you if you ever need them to raise money for your auxiliary or whatever.
We don't have an auxiliary.
You know,
Very small, very small post.
but you are growing.
Well, actually, this year we did very well. We came in at 116% of membership, and the district is extremely happy with us.
Well, you're gonna expect to grow to like 130 within the next year.
That would
That's
be
why I'm
nice.
asking if you may need to find a bigger place.
Well,
Whether
we
you want to or an extended, because because of people like you. And please take this as a compliment. I'm not good at handing out compliments. Here we go again.
Yeah.
It
Talk about a heart
hurts me
condition.
every time I do it. You like Red Stanford, right? But it's because of people, the dedication of people like yourself that really believe in what you're doing. You don't push it on somebody. You don't you just do what you have to do, and you continue to grow. And this is why you're a good example of what your organization is. And if you would tell us what your organization is, we'd appreciate it.
Tell them again.
Oh, the American Legion. I'm the commander of the Killed Off Veteran Post 74, Brookline, New Hampshire. And we do a lot of things. I haven't even mentioned Veterans Count.
Okay, go ahead.
Have you heard of it?
I just from your bio.
Ah,
so I don't
okay.
I don't know what that is.
It's an organization based here in New Hampshire. What they do is they're connected with Easter seals, and they find a homeless vet, and through the Easter seals, they can get him whatever medical attention he might need, psychological attention. They will help them find housing, help them get an education. And so in southern New Hampshire, there's no reason for a homeless vet to be on the street. And my first connection with them was last September. They had their annual banquet at the Radisson in Nashua. And I was invited because they needed a bugler to play taps during the ceremony that they had there. The banquet raised over $200,000
Wow.
for the cause.
That is
Okay.
wonderful.
Awesome.
And 90% goes directly to the vets. 5% goes to overhead, and 5% goes to paying the medical people they have to bring in to take care of the vets. And they have an MC that comes in and does a little show. He comes from Las Vegas, and he always brings a couple of quote-unquote acts. Well, he brought this kid. To me, he's a kid. Most people, he's a grown man.
And I raising kids.
Yeah, well, but his name, Travis Mills, okay, he impressed me. He's a quadriplegic, okay, all four limbs. On his right arm, he has about this much of it. He doesn't wear a prosthesis there because he has a device he can stick under that arm to control the speed of his car. He has both legs gone below the knees. He has those legs with the
Yep.
okay, and he has a prosthetic arm from the elbow out, and on the end of it is a hand. Now all of his prostheses are controlled by Wi-Fi, right? And he was given and he did a comedy routine. His disabilities disappeared because this guy he's just so positive. Like me, he feels that God had a hand in what happened, and there's a purpose for that. But he leaves them roaring. But he can, when he's describing this prosthesis, okay, and the hand is like this, okay, so he can hang onto the steering wheel. Well, it goes around 360 degrees, and he'd just be spinning it round and round, and all the things I can do that you can't do, and he was very nice young man, married, kids, he's writing, good thing, but it's so nice to see others who can put a positive stance on what happened to them. And of course today we're a lot more familiar with our veterans and what they're going through because there are so few of them. We're talking about what in either Iraq or Afghanistan we've lost a total of 6,000 service people. 6,000? Hello. They're safer in combat than they are here.
I listen to what you say with this young man, and it runs into mind what Lori and I always talk about. No matter what your disability is, there's always a way you can overcome it if you want to. I've had people come in that
If
were blind.
you want to.
Yeah. I've had people come in there. I try to get a hold. I get a hold and can play the guitar and sing awesome. And I've had people come in with autism. And we've had people like David Allison, you remember that? He has MS and Allison being cancer. I like bringing the inspiration because it inspires me, like your story when you're telling him, you know what, I don't have time to sit around and feel sorry for myself. I look in the mirror, and I mean, I obviously tell myself how gorgeous I am.
Well,
because I know I am, you know.
Of course.
And you need to too, right? You know? And when you and I have people that come into my office, and I'm sure you run into them. Oh, I don't know if I can do this, and I don't know if I can. And then I look at them and I say, don't waste my time. You know, if you can't do it, then don't waste my time. I also, one of the things I'm also looking at you too is you're going to go to a military reunion that in tears. Well, you're very sensitive anyway. Your wife may not tell me that, but you're very sensitive. And there's some kind of a reunion, a military reunion that you're going to be going to. That's going to be one of the most uplifting military reunion you've ever been to. You're going to see a lot of your old comrades that you haven't seen in years and years and years. And of course, obviously, there's going to be some that have crossed over. One of the things I also will tell you is that all the people that have crossed over that you knew have a lot of respect for you because you're respecting them.
Because you honor their memories, whether you do it collectively or individually, you pay honor to them and they're grateful.
Were you drafted?
Yes, I was. Now, I had a problem growing up, you know.
Not you.
Oh, I am a male version of my mother.
Oh.
But my personality is 180 degrees away from hers. We are exact opposites, okay? I call myself a conservative constitutional Republican. I have a problem with the Democrats because they spit on me in Chicago. I don't vote straight ticket, but still. But I have just as strong a will as my mother does. I say does. She's 90 years old.
Bless her heart.
Okay, well, see, I'm outgoing. I like people. I go to see people. I make new friends constantly. You know, I'm out there. I want to give. And my poor mother, she's just the opposite. You know, and
Do you ever
she's
give
lonely.
to yourself?
Pardon me?
Do you ever give to yourself?
Give to myself.
You're always giving to other people. Right?
Okay.
You're always helping. Do you ever give thanks to yourself for what you're doing?
Well, it's...
You ever pay homage? Hey, that's a big word.
That is a
Did you
big
hear
word.
that?
You even started to use it correctly.
Yeah. Homage to yourself. You never right to. I am probably one of the most conceited idiots you ever saw. I am great. I'm fabulous. You ask me, and I'm going to tell you. But also, I'm also a very humble person, too, okay? So how about that intertwine? By believing in ourselves and taking care and say, you know what? I have a right to honor what I have done for other people. I have a right to say, I did this.
Yeah.
You know, like when she was telling me last week when we were going to the American Legion, I actually blushed over it when they were asking wanting to know if I was going to be there. And, you know, because you and I, we don't like all that credit. We don't like that pat on the back. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
I do it because I want to, like, this new foundation, which is called Healing for Healthy Paws. We're going to be at Gaucho today from, notice how that falls into play, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. And all the proceeds, except for the dinner percentage of the bill, will be, you know, when they tally up whatever, will be going to us, and we're having raffles. And then, from my understanding, there's going to be a flute there that you will be intrigued with. Okay, it's a beautiful flute.
So beautiful.
Unfortunately, Bob can't be there.
Oh, I know he wanted. He was hoping to come, but yeah.
And but you're going to be a hero in your town.
You already are a hero.
Right. I mean, they don't. There's some doubters that don't believe that you're going to be on the show, did they?
I didn't do a lot of
I
bragging
don't think he
about it.
told anybody.
Oh, okay.
Well,
That's because of modesty.
my veteran friends.
Yeah.
I warned them.
Well, now you can show them that, hey, I know what I'm talking. This will be shown several times through the week, almost every day. At different
Yeah,
times.
and they can watch it on the
Yeah.
internet. Several
They can watch it on there. They can
places.
watch it on
It'll be on YouTube next
ManchesterTV.org. It'll be on YouTube
week. Next week.
next week by this, and then you can go to spiritualvisionary.net. It'll be watched.
IPMNation.com.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep.
So,
Like
yeah.
the nation. So
And
you're
I
going to
did.
be
Yeah,
very well known.
Yeah, I put on there that you are the embodiment of an American hero. And the reason I put that is because I believe that from just learning the little bit I know about you. You served your country, but you came back, you'd been horribly wounded, let's face it. You did die, and you came back. And what did you decide to do? You decided to give back to your community, be involved. You give back to people and to animals. You care. You have, you love your family. You just, everything that you would expect a hero to do. You do that, but you do it humbly and graciously.
You do it with love.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. There was one other thing I wanted to tell you guys about that I think.
Yeah, let me take this. Now, this is my buddy Al Capoya.
Well, that was interesting timing.
Hey, Al.
How you doing? How's your show going?
Actually, we're having an awesome show, Al. We got a great American hero here with us from the Vietnam War.
Hi, Al.
Hi, how are you? No, that's good.
Can you hold that call, Paul?
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, yeah. And so, how are you doing?
Good. I'm just getting out of work, and the Celtics lost, and the Red Sox won. So,
Oh.
what do you think?
I don't see us winning the Celtics winning the tournament.
You don't think tomorrow night, no?
No, not as long as we had the referees favoring LeBron James.
I saw that call. I said, look, you put Lennon to Toronto, and they didn't cry fine. I said, oh, no one's watching it.
Oh, I was so mad.
I picture on look. I said, they didn't call a penalty on you. They let it go.
Yeah, well, you know what? For some reason, referees are afraid of the big name ball players. Whether they're in, what was that one that just retired from the Lakers, or what team was it? Kobe or whatever.
I don't do basketball.
You know who I mean? That big guy there from that just retired last year.
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant, yeah. And all the referees are literally and like I was watching Rondo, the referees are literally afraid of them. They tell the referees what they're going to call and what they're not going to call. And that's not,
Yeah.
but that's okay. The Celtics came a long way anyways.
They had a great season, though. They won 2 series, so you got to give it to them. They went further than last year, so next year will probably go further, right?
Yeah, I actually think they may win this next one because they got to make the money. So I think we're going to win the next one, and then it's going to be hashi-pachi in the next game. That's a new word.
How do you think the Red Sox did? They had 11 runs last night.
I actually believe that we're going to win the American League pennant, and then very close to the World Series.
Yeah.
We're going to go all the way.
Well, I get into the weather tonight. We'll have some sunshine this evening. It'll become cloudy after midnight. Tomorrow we're going to have rain developing, mostly cloudy. Temperatures tomorrow in the mid-upper 50s and near 60. And then we're going to see a period of heavy rain tomorrow night, Friday morning, the 50s near 60 on Friday. So we could see an inch plus of rain. The weekend looks pretty good now. Saturday, a mixture of sun and clouds, low to mid-70s, 70 and 75 Saturday. But Sunday near 70, morning sun, increasing clouds, showers Sunday night, Memorial Day. So weekend's off to a dry start, but it could be kind of a wet finish, not a complete wash up, but some showers Sunday night to Memorial Day. So that's the way it looks at this time.
Well, that's a cool thing. We're doing a cookout at my house, so I hope the weather prevails so we can do it. And then after that, it can rain all at once.
Yeah. Well, once you get back to your show, we'll give you a call Sunday night. Have a good
All right, you too.
Al.
Yeah, we got to get together soon. Yeah, bye-bye now.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you later over the weekend. Have a
All
good
righty.
day.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
I wanted to tell you about another program we have in the Hollis Brookline school system. It's called Veterans in the Classroom. And we go in with 8th graders and I think juniors when they're getting ready to make their pilgrimage to Washington.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very rewarding. The kids are just amazing. They chauffeur us, move us around from place to place. But the thing is, they get to ask any question they want. We give them the straight story, but I have a tendency to focus on the insanity. And they, believe me, oh, you would not believe what I mean. One kid was so. Make it quick. When I got hit, okay, because everybody went to the bunker because they thought it was either a rocket or a mortar, and by the time they blew the all clear, I'd already figured out what my problems were. All right, and all my friends come back from the bunker and they walk in and they go, "Oh my God, a sucking chest wound." You don't ever tell the victim he's got a sucking chest wound. Send him into shock. Of course, I already knew it because I could hear the air going in and out between my ribs, and it just became, oh, let's see, we're supposed to turn him on his side. Which side do we turn him on? So they turned me on my right side. Well, the damage was on the left, and now all the blood was pouring into the right, so I was about to drown. When one of our NCOs came over and he said, "You idiot, you're doing it backwards." And he goes,
And he wasn't very gentle, was he?
No, he wasn't, but that's okay.
And he saved your life.
Yeah, see, that was another step. And God put people all along the way to help me. And you know what the crazy thing was? 2 weeks after I got there, I was in charge of our Vietnamese workers, and a buddy of mine brought me a card or a letter from my wife, okay? And I opened it up, and I'm reading it, and I went, "Oh my God, I'm gonna be a father." And the Vietnamese woman supervisor, she says, "You be Papa Son?" And I said, "Not yet. About 9 months or 8 months." She says, "You be Papa Son." What I didn't know is in Asia, your age begins at conception, not birth. Okay? And they treated me really, 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 really nice all day. Waited on me hand and foot, But thing is, you gotta beware of what you ask for, because 2 weeks later, I was on my way home. She wasn't going to get me like she wanted me. When she dropped me off at Logan Airport, I weighed 196 pounds. The next time she saw me, I weighed 140.
Oh, quite the shock, I'm sure.
Oh. But, beware what you ask for. God may give it to you.
You had children?
One, yeah.
Is he also, he or she, are they military?
When my son and my nephew graduated from high school, we had a party for them. Now, my family's been here since 1628 or 30, whatever the Bay Colony was, okay? And we continuously served this country. We have a veteran from the 1812 War. We have veterans from the Revolution. We have veterans from the French Indian War, from the Indian Wars. The only one we don't have is from the Spanish American. So, when we all got together, I got the boys apart, and they said, "So, which branch are you guys going in?" And my son looked at me, and he said, "Do you think, after the way you've been treated, we'd ever serve this country?"
Wow.
That tradition died with the way we treated the Vietnam vets.
That is so sad.
Yeah.
But what love that means that they had, and respect they had for you.
Yeah.
So, there's the bright side to that, is
Yeah.
that their love and respect for you was so strong that they were deeply wounded by how disrespected you were by the,
I am seeing right now a vision. I get a lot of good visions. And here's his vision. Here you are, or someone like you, with a rifle, with that three-corner hat, Okay? And when the real strong, powerful one. What is that show called? The Kentuckian? You remember that show? When they have the first, the British American, British against the Indians or whatever.
Right.
But they're actually literally, and there's this three-corner hat when there's something there.
Okay.
There's something there where you're probably, that's a statue of you, and I wish there was a way that I could prove what I see. But there is a statue of you in this country. And it could almost be in Kentucky, it could be in Boston, Mass.
Yeah.
But there is a statue, either you or a family member of you in this country.
Well,
Like-
it looks exactly like
Like
you.
it,
It's what
yeah.
I'm seeing, but
Well,
obviously we'd have
the
to.
in 1960, Acton reconstitute the Minuteman Company, and of course I joined and did all of the events. And in 1965, we got to, along with the Concord Minutemen, we combined to go to Washington, D.C. to march in the inaugural parade for Lyndon Baines Johnson. And so I was in a tricorn, carrying a .68 caliber Brown Bess.
That could be what I'm seeing. My brothers are in Springfield, New Hampshire, in the town hall there, and their names are on a plaque in there. So that's pretty cool. And I've always saddened that I couldn't have my name on there. But you know what? I'm doing great. I think I'm doing the right thing by honoring them. Not everyone is meant to be in the military,
No.
And I don't think my brothers ever forgave me. But
Well-
that's okay.
Well, it wasn't your fault. You had one eye.
Yeah.
I mean, really?
Yeah. Plus being gay, that makes a big thing. too.
Well,
So-
only if you're upfront about it. You
I
just
know. I wasn't then, but I actually, it still is. I don't care what they say. It's still, don't ask. This is garbage. Don't ask. Don't tell.
When I was in,
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
And I would
Yeah.
always identify, because I was a musician, so that's a whole different world. Gays have always been accepted in
course.
music. Okay.
Always.
The
Or
funny part is the how do
entertainment of
you
any
try to hide that identity? The how do you try to show that you're gay? That you say, oh, I'm not gay. The how do you? The more obvious you can become, you're your worst enemy. Because I can remember going to the churches and believe me, I think I flare here, but it's like, oh, I can't let them know. But next thing you know, you're all, and you know what? Today, Dave, I love who I am.
You love who you
Who I
are.
am.
Yeah.
And whether you're gay, straight, different, or no what. One thing I also will, wow, there's something exciting. There is a president or a vice president that you're going to meet, and they're going to thank you for serving our country, and they're actually going to shake your hand. I believe this with all my heart, and there's someone who's very high in the cabinet of military that's also going to shake your hand too. You are very, very highly respected, and you're not even looking for it. The other people that do what you're doing, they want that credit. You, my young man, I have to tell you, you're a very highly respected person, and I truly believe that someone in a higher power, you're going to be getting an award, and I don't know if you swim, so I can't, and I wouldn't tell you anyway. It's
Well,
not,
because you want him to be surprised.
yeah.
Grew up on the
But you
ocean.
agree?
Yeah.
See, one thing, if I'm not quite sure, I love it because either she'll agree with you or she won't or she don't see it. But I just see it. It's not that far away. And that's a limousine service. You like fine dining, right?
Well, I've eaten in some of the best restaurants in Europe. Yeah. One in France I will never forget. Yeah. So.
It's even better when it's free.
But it was.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It was free because in Europe, military bands are big time. I mean, big time. And we were the catch of the week, and but we were different.
I gotta do something. I gotta talk to Paul also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, European military musicians are union members. Okay, our government considers us on salary. Okay, so if you wanted us for a day, you had to feed us. If you wanted us for more than a day, in addition to feeding us, you had to put us up. Okay, and some of the places that we ate, oh my.
Nice.
Now, Germany is made up of states, and it's not uncommon for there to be a town's name in each of the states, like the Rotenburgs. And one of the Rotenburgs was down south, and it was very, very successful. Gorgeous, gorgeous, beautiful medieval town. And they set us up in a garden restaurant, okay? And it was surrounded by the herbs and spices and vegetables that they served. So you knew you were getting fresh veggies. Well, they served the salad. And now, my last name is Larkin is actually Irish, but the K-I-N does confuse some people as to what I am, and David doesn't help, okay? But a friend of mine who was sitting across the table from me there, David Frank. Now, we know he was Jewish, okay? And he's going to eat his salad, and a snail comes out from under a leaf and comes up, right? And he's kind of wishy-washy to begin with, right? And he pushed away from the table, and he's going, oh, my God. And because we're all teasing him, oh, how come you get extra protein? Where's ours, you know?
Right.
Yeah. And the poor Germans, they jumped. And they had to get him a new salad, and they're just going, oh, my God, we insulted a Jew.
Oh, no.
Okay? And they're so sensitive today. And after living as a German, okay, I lived when I wasn't working. The Army was my job. But when I wasn't on duty, I was living like a German. And those people are so much like us. It's unbelievable. All of the European peoples, those are the ones that are closest to us. And what's frightening is if Hitler happened there, he can happen here, or she. You know, and that's frightening.
Mm.
You know, and that's why I like to stay visible, because my experiences, I can help people get some sanity and clarity about what's going on. You know, I've
Yeah, but
always.
how can you get sanity if you may be a little bit insane yourself?
Well, that helps. That helps. But
Well, you have to be
I love this guy.
You have to be insane to know what sanity is, right?
yes, yeah. But I was working for digital. No, it was either Compaq or Hewlett Packard. The companies kept getting bought.
Right.
But I was by Exit 1 down in Nashua. Beautiful, beautiful facility. And we had what they called holodeck, a holodeck. And it was a recreation place with foosball and pool and, you know, lots of TVs. And one day I'm sitting in September 2001. I'm busily compiling a database, and somebody walks into my office. You gotta come. You gotta tell us what's going on. So I went up and I walked in. The whole room turns and looks. And I look up at the screen in time to see the second plane hit the second tower. And everybody, and I says, folks, we're under attack. How can you believe anything else? This was not an accident. It was an obvious attack.
And the sad part, the bureaucrats knew about it.
Well, there may have been no way to stop it, too.
Yeah.
You know, but it was a victory for Osama bin Laden, not the attack, but what happened afterwards. Our freedoms were taken away, and they're still gone. We don't have the right of free travel anymore. gone. And that was a victory for him.
Isn't that sad?
It is, but did we have a choice? You know, 1 in probably 100 million might be a terrorist, but we don't want that one plane to blow up.
You know, everybody says, what's the word? God has a plan for this country. Okay? And God has this going on. I don't use the term God very often. You go to the universal spirit, but I do believe that Nostradamus says, and also if you read the last of the last in the Revelations, it will tell you how man will destroy the world, and they are just doing that. I believe in this planet can be saved, we would be here. You believe, I believe it. I know you do. You want me doing what you do, and I know that her husband does. We can save this planet. All we got to do is get together. You know.
But
you
are we
us.
supposed to get together?
No.
Okay, there has to be some chaos.
Yeah.
You know, we may not like it.
I don't agree with that. I think we can come together. I think we're programmed to believe we have to have differences and contention, and we don't. That's just programming that we've picked up, and too many people hold too tightly to that. That's why you get these extremists. We can all get along. We can have peace. We can have, open borders and everybody caring for everybody. That is possible.
One of the things I will tell everybody, you come here for peace. You don't need to bring your own violent traditions here. And that calls for every one of us, not just any other nationality, but even here in America,
we're
we
one
need
of
to
the
let
most
go.
violent countries.
And that's sad.
If you look at our country from the eyes of the rest of the world, we are one of the most violent countries there is. So,
folks, I want to say we are, I want to thank you for coming on, Dave. Our pleasure. We'd love to have you on again.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
Absolutely.
Okay. Would you be welcome to come again? Maybe 4th of July, who knows? But I want to thank all of you for allowing us to come into your house. Dave, thank you for playing the taps for us and the other song.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
everybody who is listening to us, please feel free to join us at Gaucho's at 62 Lowell Street. I would recommend parking in the car garage, and we'll see you all there. Dave, you're going to be there, I understand, and maybe we can get him to play the taps over there too. Who knows, But anyway, this is all for the Healing for Healthy Paws. It's a new name because I got it because I had to change the name of it because it was already there. So, folks, I'm not making money on this, just to let you know. You're not making money on this. But it's all for a good cause. Show us how you're going to be there. And remember, every day that you come and you support the animal, I don't care if it's shelter or what, 12, 14, 22 cats or whatever, but every time you support either veterans or whatever, you are the winner. So, see you next week.
All right.
Kid, every time I'm pulling out, he's right there. Man, someone needs to talk to his parents if they're ever at home. What is up with the traffic today? It's always, every day, this intersection's always crowded. I hate pulling out of here. I need some of these dumb roads. Oh, there's... Okay, so I'm not even here. Right. Great lady. The princess of parking. Oh, sure. Take the spot. Way to be considerate. Oh, you kidding me? Unbelievable. Oh.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a great day.
It's about time. Let's see, what do I want?
Yeah, could I add a cookie to that order? Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, no problem, only guy in the world. I'm sure you need your cookie. The world, your oyster, and he's serving your cookie.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you so much.
What can I get for you?
Yeah, I'll have a tall decaf macchiato.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Be $3.85. And it might take a few minutes here. We've got quite a line, obviously, and thanks for your patience.
Great. Yeah, great. Great for me. Winning again. Unbelievable. For what? What is... What is that? What in the world? What am I supposed to do? How can I do anything about that? Can I even help with that? I don't...
Your copy, sir.
Oh. I can't take this anymore. I gotta get out of here.
Hey, watch it.
Sorry, so sorry.
Hey, buddy, come here.
Whoa. I can handle it myself.
You wouldn't face any other disease alone.
Sorry.
Why face drug addiction alone?
My mom would be at all my sporting events. Let's say I was playing football, okay? My mother would be on the sidelines, and if the play on the field started going one way, my mother would run along like, Mark, get him, get him! I'd be like, oh my gosh. I'd get in the huddle with the other guys, they go, Mark, is that your mother? I go, no, I never saw her before in my life. See, the greatest gift my mother ever gave me, she believed in me. I have overdosed on drugs on 3 occasions where I should have been dead. But I believe I was kept here for a reason. You show me your friends, I will show you your future. How do I know this? I hung out with losers, and I became the biggest loser of them all because I gave up everything I dreamt about as a little boy because of who I chose to surround myself with. My friends would drive me home at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. We'd be drunk and high, laughing in the car. We'd pull up in front of my house in New York. They go, Mark, the light's on. I go, oh man, my mother's up. See, my mom wouldn't go to bed until she knew her son was still alive. I'd walk in, she'd say, hi, Mark, how was your night? I go, it was good, Mom, I'm just gonna go to bed. She goes, can I talk to you for a minute? I go, Mom, I'm tired, I'm just gonna go to bed. She goes, Mark, I haven't seen you all day and all night. Can I please talk to you? I said, man, just leave me alone. You bug me. I'd slam my bedroom door on the one person who believed in me. I was on a worldwide tour and we were wrestling overseas in Japan. After my wrestling match, I went upstairs in my hotel room and I fell asleep. There was a knock at my door at 3 o'clock in the morning. I got out of bed and I looked through the safety window and I could see it was a Japanese promoter. So I opened the door and he said, Mark, you need to call home. There's been an emergency. I went and got on the hotel room phone. I called back to the United States and said, hey, what's going on? They said, Mark, I don't know how to tell you this. I said, just tell me what happened. All of a sudden they started crying. They go, Mark, I can't tell you. I said, just Say it. I said, Mark, your mother died. I just threw the phone down. I ran out of my hotel room. I took the elevator to the lobby, and when the doors opened up, I just ran out into the street. I mean, there was no cars, there was no people. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. And I walked down the middle of a street in Hiroshima, Japan, and I remember looking up and just saying, Mom, I am so sorry. I flew home for her funeral, and I was so nervous to walk up to her casket, so I just stood way in the back. And I kept looking from a distance. I kept thinking to myself, Mom, please wake up. Please get up. And then I finally got the nerve to walk up to her. And as I got closer, I could see my mom for the first time. I mean, she was so beautiful. She was dressed in white. I mean, she looked like an angel. And I just stood over it. I said, Mom, you are my hero. Everything I am, everything I hope to be was because of you. You loved me so much. You gave me a life. You're the only one that ever believed in me. How did I repay her? By getting drunk, by getting high, by getting stupid, by hanging out with losers? For what? All she ever wanted to do was talk to me. I wish I could talk to you now, Mom. I wish you could see what I'm doing. Why couldn't I have been a better son? We are defined by our choices. But if you surround yourself with people involved in drugs and alcohol and pills, it's a dead end. I'm not here to preach to you. I'm here to tell you I lived that life. It leads to broken hearts, broken relationships, broken dreams, and death. For what? To get high? If you have a mother or a father, when you go home, tell them how much you love them. See, my whole life was about being rich and famous. I had to be a millionaire. I had to win the race. I had to win the race at the expense of my marriage, my family, my friends. For what? To be all alone in the world? I learned what is truly important, and that is how precious this gift of life is, and our families, and how quickly it can be taken away. See, I no longer live in time. I live in moments. See, it's not what's in your pocket that matters. It's what's in your heart that truly matters. Love. Love is just a word until somebody comes along and gives it meaning. You're the meaning.
Nice and loud, nice and proud. Can we, right, one thing, and it's only because I watched the King's speech quite recently, all right?
Okay.
One thing he does, right, because it's a very similar thing to you, in that he just can't get the words out. But one thing he does do is he makes him listen to some music, right? And then when he's listening to the music, gets him to do it again.
Okay.
So have you got your phone with you?
Yeah.
Right, just plug it into mine. I'll put you some awful music on.
Okay.
Right? Right, you ready?
Yeah, yes, sir.
There?
Okay, that's right.
Go for it. 1, 2, 3.
The moment when, after many years of hard work and a long voyage,
Is it too loud? A bit loud.
That I own this. It's the same moment when the trees unloose their soft arms from around you, the birds take back their language, the cliffs
Fisher.
The cliffs fissure and collapse. The air moves back from you like a wave and you can't breathe.
What? Pause.
No,
Carry on.
No, they whisper, you own nothing. You were a visitor time after time, climbing the hill, planting the flag, proclaiming we never belonged to you. You never found us, it was always the other way round.
Bloody hell. That's insane.
Yes.
Did that feel good? Did it sound...
Yeah.
Do you feel confident? That's
yes.
Can I go get Miss Lee? Stay there. Good lad. Can I borrow you, Miss Lee, for a second? Right, our poet extraordinaire, right? You ready?
Yeah. When the trees unloose their soft arms from around you, the birds take back their language, the cliffs fissure and collapse, the air moves back from you like a wave and you can't breathe. You never found us, it was always the other way round.
What an unbelievable thing that is.
That must be one of the best things in your life, actually, isn't it? For the first time.
I genuinely didn't think it would work, but amazingly it did.
There was one of you sitting here that actually hated it in year 7 because, unfortunately, some people bullied him. And he wanted to leave. And in year 7, he had an attendance of about 34% because he didn't have a voice then. And he's got one now. So, Musharraf, where are you? This is taking a lot, but he wanted to show just what we've and you've done for him.
Oh, damn. Come on. I want to thank you today for letting me speak in front of all of you. I want to especially thank Mr. Burton for helping me overcome my stammer. The school has helped me improve so much that I do not have enough words to tell you all how. I really am going to miss the school, the teachers, the students, and just the whole high school environment. It's good. I don't have a dream to work at a call center, or else I would be fired the same day. I really want to thank you all for listening, and I hope the best for all of you, to all my fellow students and teachers.
You don't know how proud I am of you right now. Well done.